This morning, I was looking at some housing data that I believe you're going to find very interesting because the market's doing something a lot different this year than it did the past few years. I want to share that with you. And honestly, for me, it's a listing agent's dream to see this kind of data. Okay. A lot of people will say the opposite, but I'm just one of those guys. I see glass half full and I understand how to take advantage of any market opportunity that presents itself because I've been doing this so long. And so I love to share that with you right here. I'm also going to tell you why I believe that we're in the beginning stages of the most profitable time for real estate agents in history. The beginning stages, meaning for the next decade, we're going to see more profitability for real estate agents than we've ever seen. I'm going to cover with you the three reasons why I believe that after I show you this market data. But last week, I just want to share this as well. We did the Set More Listing Appointments Challenge. There were over 1,000 agents who took the challenge. I'm still getting messages from people that are getting listings, that have set appointments, that are crushing it, that are headed in the right direction with their business. So congratulations to all the agents that took the challenge. And if you didn't take the challenge, that's okay. I'm doing another one in mid-April, so be on the lookout for that. And this is a different kind of challenge. I make you do the things, and the last day, I actually make calls, and you get to listen in on those calls as I make you make calls. So you're going to make calls during that last session while you're listening to me make calls, and it's a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for that. Let's dive into this data really quickly so I can show you exactly what I'm seeing. That way, we can all be on the same page and you can understand where I'm coming from. So if you look at new listings here from the Redfin Data Center, you'll see that we're on track with 2022. The black line is 2022. So, we started out a little lower, but we're right there on track. This is new listings hitting the market. Pending sales were lower. We're about 6% lower than we were this time last year, but you can see it has the same trend. It always starts out this little U-shaped and kind of goes right up. And so it has the same trend as we normally see. It's just a little lower than the past few years. That's to be, expected with where rates are, right? If you look at rates right now, we're under 7. Okay, so that's positive. We've been over 7 for a while. It touched under 7 for a second. We're at 6.96 right now. So let's see where that goes over the next couple of weeks. Okay, homes sold. We kind of jumped up a little bit above. Now we're kind of getting closer to where we were this time for the past couple years. So we'll keep an eye on that and kind of see where that goes. When we look at prices, prices were kind of coming down the same way they do always in the beginning of the year, and then it kind of levels out, and then it kind of starts to shoot back up in the spring, which I expect the same this year, right? I expect this to come down and to do exactly what it does every year, kind of have the same trend. It's amazing when you look at these charts how close the trends are to the different years. When you look at these highs and low points, how they correlate to the other years. But I believe we're going to see the same thing. Only time will tell. But this is the data. Let's see. Let's look at active listings. We can see where we're coming down, just like we do every year. It's starting to level out, and it'll start to come back up, just like it does every year. Right? None of this stuff is crazy, but this right here, months of supply. This is where I think it gets interesting here, because months of supply basically means how many people are buying versus how many homes are for sale. Okay, and that gives you how many months of inventory that we have. And if you see, this is national numbers, of course. You can come to the data center and pull in your specific market and look at local data, which is what you should do. You should be looking at all the local data within your MLS, within the different companies that supply local data for you, within Redfin and other companies. And you should be keeping your finger on the pulse of all this so that you can talk about it in your weekly emails, in your content, in your videos with clients, etc. You need to be completely in on understanding what's the breaking information in the market at all times. But this is interesting because look at the months, the weeks of supply is what this is, weeks of supply. And you can see that it normally does the same thing every year, and it comes and it peaks out right there, towards the end of January, and then it starts to come down. right? And it's basically done that every year. Back even back in 2022, you still saw this slight downward motion right here, and then it starts to kind of U-shape back up. But look what it did this year. The green line. Look at that. It kind of fell into the same trend, and then all of a sudden, boop, boop, right there. It shot up. Okay, which is so interesting. Okay, and that just goes to show you exactly what's happening in the market. We are seeing this separation and we are seeing months of supply start to increase. And so nationally, we're at 20 months, 20 weeks, so 5 months. And that's very interesting for a listing agent because it literally means you can stack listings. The longer things take to sell and the bigger the supply, the weeks and months of supply of inventory we have in the market, the easier it is, guys, to stack inventory. And if you do it the way that I teach my coaching students to do it, which is never let a listing expire, right? From the front end, you tell the seller, I'm going to keep this until it sells. You tell me to stop. I'm going to call you every 2 weeks. I'm going to give you feedback every showing. And you do the things you're supposed to do, you can stack listings to the moon and back. And really, you want to go out there and grab, I don't know what level you're at, but I would be going for 30, 40, 50 listings. That would be my goal. I would be doing everything I could do to stack up as many listings as I can. And the agents who actually do that are going to come out so great. So housing supply is piling up as home sellers enter the market, but buyers stay on the sidelines. New listings are up 7.4% from a year earlier, while pending sales are down 6%. Sales are slow mostly because of high home prices and mortgage rates. In Washington, D.C., and in other places with high concentration of government workers, agents report some buyers and sellers are changing plans due to uncertainty about their jobs. Okay, in Los Angeles, pending sales rose after 5 weeks of declines, possibly due to an influx of affluent buyers who lost their homes in the recent wildfires. Okay, so there are 5 months of for sale supply on the market nationwide. That's up from 4.4 months a year earlier, and it's the most since early 2019. So we're getting back to 2019 levels when it comes to inventory, months of supply. 2019 wasn't even a normal market. We were low inventory in 2019. I was there. I was still selling during 2019, and we were low inventory then. We were having trouble with inventory then. So that's not even getting back to a normal market. So we're not there yet. All this increase but we're headed there. That's the thing. We're headed there. Okay. Inventory is piling up because more sellers are listing their homes, while fewer buyers are wading into the market. New listings rose by 7.4% year over year during the 4 weeks ending February 9th, hitting their highest level for any comparable time period since 2022. New listings are at 2022 levels. Just after this time in 22, mortgage rates started rising quickly, encouraging many homeowners to stay put into low rates. Now that lock-in effect is starting to ease. And I saw a stat that 17% of mortgages are at 6% or more. And that's the highest it's been since, I can't remember the exact date, but that's as high as it's been in a while. I want to say it said 6 years. Pending home sales, meanwhile, fell 6%. Similar to declines we've seen since the start of the year. The typical home that sold in that period took 57 days to go under contract, the longest span since March of 2020. So remember, March of 2020 was literally right there when we got shut down for COVID. And so, the market was, not really, it was kind of a seller's market then. It went crazy after COVID. But we're just getting back to those days. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about all this. There's nothing crazy going on. Sales are slow mostly because of housing costs, median housing. The median monthly housing payment sits just $46 below its all-time high. So mortgage payments still really high. We had a good jobs report, wage growth number, which helps with affordability. Home sale prices are up 4.3% year over year. And the weekly mortgage rate is 6.89%, down a little bit. And so what I found interesting in this article, you scroll down and you get to these numbers here. You got the daily, 30-year fixed. We know it's down a little bit. The mortgage purchase applications were down 2.2, or let's see, this is recent change, year over year change, down 2.2% from a week earlier, and year over year we're up 2%. So we're up 2% on mortgage purchase. That's a good thing. And the touring activity, we're up 13% from the start of the year. That's not bad. Last year was up 17% during the same period, so we're off from where we were. But touring activity is 13%. That tells me right there that the trend is going to continue just like it does every single year. Things are going to tick up, come March, come April, just like they normally do. Will it be higher or lower than last year? It'll be somewhere in there. Closings are going to continue to click. The Google searches for homes for sale is essentially unchanged. We're in a different market that you have to learn how to navigate a little better. You have to negotiate a little better. You have to become a little more skillful when you're communicating with your sellers about putting their home on the market, etc. But those are skills you need to develop anyway. And if a down market forces you to develop those skills, then yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Now, let me talk about the three reasons why we're moving into a period where real estate agents are going to be more profitable than they've ever been before. Okay. Number one, transactions. Back in 2007, I believe it was, we hit 7 million transactions. That's the all time high. We haven't hit that since. Even in 2021, we hit 6 million transactions, existing home sales as a country. We were still a million away from the all time high when we had about 30, 40 million more people that year. So we know that the potential is there to have a 7 million transaction year. This is what I believe. Over the next decade, as we move back into a regular market and we see another 10 years of growth in the housing sector, like we always do after a crash, like we've had. This has been a crash. This really has been a crash. We've had a 30-year low last year with the number of transactions. That's a crash. It's a crash. Prices didn't go down. People always, define a crash with home prices going down. No, sorry. That's not the only thing that defines a crash, and that didn't happen this time, but we had way less transactions. 71% of real estate agents didn't sell a single home last year. And it's a good thing because now you've learned the lessons of going through a year like that, and you know exactly how to handle them moving forward. And now you're going to go out there and crush it. 1% of those 71% of agents are the future superstars of this industry. And if that's you, if I'm talking to you, then let's go. Let's buckle up and ride. We're going to get into a new normal, I believe, where the new normal has always been 4.5 to 5 million transactions per year. I think we're going to move into a 5.5 million transaction normal year. That's going to be our norm. That's crazy. That's massive. You think about, getting close to that 6 million in 2021. I believe that that's where we're headed with the amount of pent up demand and the population and the growth of family formations. So we're going to get into a new norm where transactions are going to be traditionally a lot higher than they normally are. There's that. The next reason is technology, AI, communication, social media, etc., and all the things that we don't even know that's coming. It literally creates a scenario where agents can sell more properties in less time. When Zillow came along, it took away the time I used to spend looking for properties for buyers. The buyers found the properties and sent me a list of what they wanted to see. And it's so funny because the general public thinks that that's what we get paid for, to find homes. No, it's not. No, it's not. We may get paid for that when we bird dog for investors to find deals, but that's not what we get paid for. We get paid for servicing them through the transaction, negotiating the best deal, holding their hand, making sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and that they have a really smooth experience, which is worth its weight in gold. We are underpaid. Agents are the most underpaid professionals in any industry, I believe. I would believe we're one of the most underpaid out there. So one reason is because transactions are going to be higher, the new norm. The next reason is communication and technology is going to continue to enable us to sell more properties in less time. Okay, that's going to increase profitability. And the next reason is because commissions aren't going to go down. They haven't went down since 2002 when I got in the business. I'm still getting 5 and 6%, just like we always did. And the reason being is because, again, we don't get paid enough. We are underpaid, and agents aren't going to go any lower. They can't go any lower. It's impossible. That's like a roofer coming to your house and them saying, I'm going to charge $10,000 to do your roof. And you say, nah, you don't really do much. You just get up there and nail a few shingles or screw some metal or whatever. I'm going to pay you $5,000 just because I feel like it. And what's the roofer going to say? They're going to say, okay, I'm headed to the next job. Good luck. I hope you find somebody that will either do it for 5,000 or you can do it yourself, Mr. Homeowner. And that's exactly what agents will do because there's plenty of demand for real estate agents. We're at an all-time high when it comes to the amount of people that use real estate agents. All-time high. Even though consumers have more information than they've ever had. Why is that? Real estate agents are needed, will continue to be needed, and will continue to get paid what they're getting paid. And maybe one day profitability for agents will actually equal the value that they bring. Only time will tell. I hope this video blesses you. I'll see you on the next one. Love you guys.